Welcome back to the Renaissanctions. It's Venus. I hope you are well wherever you are in the world. In today's video, I will talk about learning a new language up to A1. I reached A1 with no understanding of French in 10 hours. Watch the video to see how I did it, and I will tell you 5 practical tips that will accelerate your learning. Without further ado, let's dive in. I will tell you a little bit about my background first, because I want you to know the context of how I achieved A1 in 10 hours. I don't want anyone to feel disheartened. It's completely normal to reach A1 at a slower pace. The point of this video is to show how I did that and 5 steps you can implement to reach fluency quicker. If you are here for the tips, feel free to skip to the next session. I started taking one-to-one online French lessons in March 2025. Before that, I had little to no knowledge in French. I only knew basic phrases like bonjour, bonsoir, au revoir, and merci. After around 5 hours of lessons and 5 hours of studying independently, my tutor told me I already had a high A1 since I understood most of her questions and could comfortably speak about simple things I've learned. Her assessment, I think, is credible, since she is a specialized DELF tutor. She said it's pretty impressive since it usually takes students around 60 to 80 hours to reach this level. I may sound like a language wizard to you. In fact, I have a lot of experience learning European languages. I have C2 in English and B1 in German. That put me in a very solid position to learn French, since the grammar between English, German, and French is similar. For instance, I'm already comfortable with concepts like gendered nouns, conjugations, tenses, and the pronunciations comes natural to me. Also, French is my 5th language, so I know how to learn a new language effectively since the skills are transferable. I've consolidated my process into 5 actionable steps. 1. Grammar mapping. 2. Sentence structure, verbs, nouns. 3. Use AI. 4. Prepare for interaction. And 5. Speak from day one. What is grammar mapping? Well, it's a method for rapidly learning a language called grammatical framework. By that, I mean to research the linguistic elements of the language. For example, word order, verb conjugations, how to make plurals, and noun cases. The purpose of grammar mapping is to see the whole picture from the get-go, so you can recognize as many grammatical features as possible. It provides you with a good foundation to understand materials that are supposedly beyond your level. This way, you unlock more available input materials to engage with. The way to go about this is pretty simple. First, go to your local library, bookstore, or just simply go online to find a textbook or something with an index to a lot of grammar content. It can be like I said, textbook, it can be a website, it can also be a YouTube video. Look through the content pages and identify the items that sound strange to you. Those are likely to be the things that don't exist in your native language. For example, if you are a native English speaker, you might feel confused about noun cases in French. For those of you that don't know, French nouns can be masculine or feminine, and they will affect the structure of the sentence. It's super important in French, but not a thing in English. You can identify the gender of the noun with the article associated with it. Articles are things like a, an, and the. For example, the masculine articles would be un and le. For example, the boy and a boy would be le garçon and un garçon. And for feminine article, a girl and the girl would be une fille and la fille. By knowing this, you don't need to check the dictionary for gender each time when you see a new noun. You can just infer, and that will reinforce the concept in your brain as well. After you have skimmed through the unfamiliar or strange topics, try to use the material to figure out these 3 things. 1. How to form simple sentences. 2. Negation. And 3. How to form questions. Simple sentences boil down to the most basic sentence structure of the language. For example, English is a subject-verb-object language. I eat dinner. Subject-verb-object. And luckily, French is also a SVO language. So, I have a pen would be directly mapped to j'ai un stylo. So the first thing to know is the subject-verb-object order in your target language. After you figure that out, move on to negation. Negation is just how to say no. For example, in French, I know it's je sais. However, I don't know is a bit more tricky because simple negation in French comes with 2 parts. So I don't know would be je ne sais pas. Once you learn negation, try to figure out how to form simple sentences in your target language. To demonstrate, the simplest way to form question in French would be est-ce que plus your statement. For example, est-ce que vous aimez voyager? Means do you like to travel? Est-ce que plus vous aimez voyager? You like traveling. So grammar mapping is basically to find some grammar material and look through them to figure out how to do negation, simple sentences, and ask questions. This steps was probably the longest I've spent for the first 10 hours of my journey to A1. Sorry this session is a bit long. I can do a whole separate video to guide you through how I did grammar mapping for French and German. Let me know if that's something you're interested in a comment down below. So step 2 is something called sentence greater than verb and greater than nouns. The idea behind this is just the frequency of usage. It's the most useful to learn as many sentence structures as possible early on so you can express yourself and understand others. At this stage, focus on what I said in the previous session, how to form simple sentences, negation, and how to form questions. These are enough to get you started. After you've learned that, look up the top 50 most frequent verbs. You don't need to memorize them yet, just a rough idea. However, for the top 5 most frequent verbs, which are likely to be, to be, to have, to like, to do, and to go. Learn how to conjugate them in present, future, and past tenses. And through the conjugation of tenses, you probably cover all the pronouns, and they are most likely to be I, you, he, she, it, we, and they. After that, you probably are ahead of most language learners. And don't bother about nouns at this stage. It's the least important of all. Just absorb as much as you can when you're in contact with the language. If you are interested to know how to learn vocabularies, let me know in the comment down below and I will make a separate video dedicated to that. Although this step is quite time consuming, it will be much easier after you have done grammar mapping, which was the most manual part. This step you can use AI tools like ChatGPT to help you. I will show you how in the next section. ChatGPT and other large language models are great for language learning. I will show you how. So open your ChatGPT or other AI you use, DeepSeek, POE, whatever. Ask it to give you 5 most frequent sentence structures and each with 5 example sentences. Learn them, practice them, remix the material, and then make 5 sentences of those structures. Then ask AI to give you a list of the 50 most frequent verbs and the top 5 with conjugation tables. Try to look at them and then test yourself over the content. It's easy. Ask AI to quiz you until you feel somewhat comfortable with conjugating the top 5 verbs. This step should take you around 1 hour to get somewhat confident in the content. You don't need to nail them, just need to be comfortable. Step 4 is prepare for interaction. After doing the first 3 steps, you should have a pretty sound understanding of the language. It's time to prepare for interaction. Speaking. I didn't bother with learning the ABC song for French. I just dived straight into phrases. I knew I was going to use a tutor to practice speaking, so I prepared 10 phrases that would be useful in lesson to minimize my use of English with my tutor. Let me give you some examples of what I prepared. So the first one is I don't understand. Je ne comprends pas. Since in the beginning, you will, not understand. The second one is for utility purpose. So it's, can you repeat? Encore une fois. And the third one is, slower please. Plus lentement s'il vous plaît. I listened carefully to the way these phrases were pronounced. Then I opened Google Translate and record them using the dictation function until it gives the exact phrases. This step is arguably the most strenuous and frustrating part, and it took me about 1.5 hours to master 5 phrases. However, it taught me how to pronounce French through imitation, and it's really satisfying for a full-grown adult than learning, a French ABC song. And the final step is to speak from day one. My method mostly focused on self-studying, as you can tell, but to speed up the process, I suggest hire a tutor to help. There are many language platforms out there like italki, Preply, and Amazing Talker. You can hire a native speaker to talk to you for as low as $10 an hour. However, I do understand not everyone has the luxury to do that. Don't worry, there are other ways. If you have an iPhone, turn Siri into French and use the phrases you prepare in step 4. If you are willing to pay, there are many AI conversation apps these days. Download one and see which one you like best. My advice is don't dwell on picking the best one, just get speaking. That's the remaining 5 hours of the journey to A1. It's really how I picked up vocabulary and progressed quickly. Alright guys, you're amazing. Thanks for staying with me till the end. It's a pleasure. Let me know in the comment below if you have more you want to know. I can do specific language content for English, German, French, Cantonese, and Mandarin. I'm native in Mandarin and Cantonese, near native in English, B1 in German, and A1 in French. So I can talk about the methods for each stage of the language learning process. I would also love to see in the comments of how you learn your target language. Enough for me today. I hope you're all having a nice day or evening. Be well and keep learning.